Are we just gonna let Israel buy all of our media companies? Is that what's going on right now? I mean, they did it with TikTok, they did it with Paramount, and now they want to do it with Warner Brothers Discovery. Here's the situation. On December 5th, Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery announced that they had entered into a definitive agreement under which Netflix would acquire Warner Brothers, including its film and television studios, HBO Max and HBO, for $82.7 billion. Now, before I get into any of the spicy stuff, that stuff is coming. I just have to say an overall blanket statement that any kind of consolidation in media is bad, because the free flow of information only comes when there is competition. When there's only one or a few companies controlling all of the content, the inevitable outcome will be censorship, no matter who is in charge. Okay, just to finish off the context here, as soon as the Netflix deal was announced, Paramount launched its own quote-unquote hostile bid to buy Warner Brothers Discovery.
The gloves are off this morning in a high-stakes media battle. Paramount Skydance coming in with a hostile bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, making an all-cash $108 billion offer for the entire company. Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison arguing a Netflix deal could mean more films going straight to streaming.
This deal, if it is allowed to move forward, will actually be the death of the theatrical movie business in Hollywood.
But Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos insists Warner Brothers movies will go to theaters as normal and expressed confidence the deal will hold.
Now, here is what the mainstream media won't tell you about this story, because as soon as news broke about Paramount coming into the fold, everyone from the left to the right was on Team Paramount.
Your piece doesn't mess around. You call it an illegal deal. You say the ideal scenario is a trial that puts some Hollywood executives and filmmakers or financiers on display.
So what's your concern here? Is it that they're going to kill movie theaters? Is that it's going to make it harder for the talent and content creators to compete? Who suffers?
Well, ultimately, it will destroy Hollywood.
That was Matt Stoller, a progressive anti-monopoly watchdog journalist who does great work, saying that Netflix will destroy Hollywood. Then interestingly, we got another Matt Gaetz, who's on the complete opposite side of the political spectrum, singing a very similar tune.
Hollywood handing the keys to one company that already pushes globalist ideology, funds elite political figures, and pays the Obamas millions to produce content that scolds middle America about their values. Picture Netflix, already lecturing its audience about climate, gender, and internationalism, suddenly owning HBO's prestige storytelling and Warner Brothers' blockbuster infrastructure and machinery. This isn't a merger. It's a consolidation of messaging, a single cultural choke point that can tilt opinion, rewrite reality, and blacklist dissent at a global scale.
Now, don't get me wrong, I am all about bipartisanship, but when you see bipartisanship coming from the elite class, not the regular people, the people who are in the media, the people who are in government, your spidey senses should be going off that maybe there is more to this story. Like, for example, when Matt talks about culture war, which, while I agree Netflix does have a strong relationship with liberal America, they actually, if you look into it, also have a strong record of defending comedians and others' right to free speech. One prominent example here, they defended Dave Chappelle over his quote-unquote anti-trans remarks and even suspended a trans employee. Funny how Matt forgot to mention that. And to respond to his claim of Netflix creating this kind of consolidation of messaging, a single cultural choke point, and a blacklist dissent on a global scale, as he calls it, does Matt know the people, the family who controls Paramount? I mean, he has to, right? But just in case he forgot, let's do a quick refresher for everybody.
So David Ellison is running Skydance that bought Paramount and wants to buy Warner Brothers that includes CNN, right? So his father's Larry Ellison, who's financing all of this. Larry Ellison's the founder of Oracle. He's also the guy that has been revealed to be the #1 donor to the IDF. He's gave $60 million in charity in the middle of a genocide so the IDF could murder more Palestinians. And Larry Ellison's also the guy who legally bribed Marco Rubio $5 million after having a meeting with him and making sure that he was going to be pro-Israel for the rest of his career. And then he emailed the Israeli ambassador and said, don't worry, I paid Marco Rubio $5 million. He's now pro-Israel. So that's who these guys are. And so they already bought CBS and they put Barry Weiss, probably the most pro-Israel person in media, in charge of CBS News. And Discovery also owns CNN.
Yeah. Do you really want Israel controlling not only Paramount, but also Warner Brothers Discovery? And let's not forget, they got their hands on TikTok earlier this year. One more time for emphasis, Larry Ellison, the largest private donor to the IDF, could soon control TikTok, Paramount, Warner Brothers, CNN, CBS, HBO, and almost every major cable channel. And let me just give you a scenario of how all of this is going to go down in the future, okay? Do you guys remember the movie Top Gun Maverick, okay? Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, big blockbuster about how the US military needs to bomb some undisclosed uranium site to save the world, quote unquote, save the world. Well, it just so happened that that movie's plot foreshadowed Trump's stealth bomb raid on Iran's nuclear lab earlier this year with some pretty striking similarities and parallels. Let's just put it that way. Maybe one could say that there's a little preconditioning happening here, perhaps. But guess who funded that movie? Yeah, you probably guessed right. David Ellison. Could a staunch Zionist want to fund a movie to precondition Americans to, say, manufacture consent for a strike on Iran on behalf of a certain other foreign nation? No. But let's just say he wants to do another Top Gun, which is actually true. According to reporting, it's one of Ellison's top priorities at Paramount. And let's just say he wants to maximize buzz so that as many people as possible would want to see that movie. How would he do that? Well, he can use traditional advertising and cross-promotion, collaboration, those kinds of techniques, which is how movies have been traditionally marketed. But now there's another tool in Ellison's toolkit, so to speak. They have the TikTok algorithm, which they now also control, right? In the past, if a studio wanted content creators to talk about a movie or a TV show, they would pay them or do a collab with them. But now they can do it vis-a-vis the algorithm. This is, I think, one of the parts of a media psyop that most people don't realize, right? A lot of people focus on the formal deals, the money exchanging hands in some kind of formal arrangement. So-and-so is paid by this group or that company to promote something. It's clear propaganda, we all know. But now there's this other form of control, which is the algorithm. I know it well because I live it day in and day out. And I'll give you an example. Let's just say they want you to talk about Top Gun. What can they do? Well, they juice the algorithm. And as a content creator, I go, whoa, people are very interested in Top Gun. Maybe I should talk about Top Gun more. And then let's say there's a competing movie out there on the market, maybe one that's anti-imperialist. I do a video about that and it gets way fewer views. Then I, as the content creator, will go, oh, I guess people don't like that movie or maybe aren't that interested. Let's do another video about Top Gun. Views go through the roof and I go, cool, I'm back. Let's do more about Top Gun. People like it. You see what I'm saying? Before, the model to promote something was to pay the content creators to talk about a movie or to promote a TV show, something like that, which is very open and clear to both the creator and the audience as to what is going on. The new method is something I think much more sinister, which is to basically subversively control what you are talking about. And this is, without a doubt, the goal of the Ellisons, allegedly, of course. That is why we cannot go quietly here. I would go as far as to say, turn off Paramount, turn off TikTok, okay? Because the danger here isn't just that they own the content. The danger here is that they're able to now quietly engineer public opinion without us realizing it, okay? We are now entering a world where the same hands control the news, the movies, and the viral trends. So I would leave you with this. Anytime you see something, people are talking about a specific topic, ask yourself, are you seeing the world as it actually is, or a world that the owners have created for you to believe? That is it for me this week. Let me know what you think about this media war between Netflix and Paramount to control what is maybe one of the oldest and most well-known studios in Hollywood. Sound off in the comment section below. If you want to support my journalism, you can become a member over to my website, 5149jameslee.com. You can also pick yourself up some merch there. But if you're not able to contribute monetarily, no worries at all. Just take a second to please like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family so we can grow our community, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my next video drops. As always, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next one.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And the supervision will, and if there's a problem, AI will report the problem and report it to the appropriate person, whether it's the sheriff or the chief or whomever we need to take control of the situation.